We would like to thank the Waco Lion Pride Band. Awesome. It is a pleasure to stand before you as we begin the 2014-15 school year. Public education is unique in that it begins anew each year. Whatever was accomplished last year or whatever we did not do well, that is all behind us. Ahead is a new school year full of opportunities and new challenges. Would you please stand for the posting of the colors by the Waco High or JROTC in their new uniforms. The posting of the colors will be followed by the singing of the national anthem by senior Adair Norwood.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Junior Julia Hensley.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce those who provide the direction and framework within which WISD changes the lives of students. Two members of our Board of Trustees, Mr. Alan Sykes, Vice President. Mr. Sykes. President Pat Atkins, who brings you greetings from the board.
Good afternoon. All I've heard is how enthusiastic and excited you are. You can do better than that. Let's try it again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Start with a question. How many of you heard Donna Beagle Monday over at the Farrell Center? And how many of you arrived at the Farrell Center a little before 7:30 to hear Donna Beagle? And how many of you have subsequently learned and now know the program didn't actually start till 10 minutes after 9? By my count, that means we owe you 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I'm going to do my part. I'm going to be short and sweet. I don't know how to take that applause. On behalf of the Waco School Board, welcome to another school year. And as you move forward into the coming school year, remember this. Each of you has the unique opportunity to be an agent of change in the life of a child. Make the most of that opportunity. Make that connection, and have a great year.
Thank you, Mr. Atkins. We would now like to honor teachers who have been helping students for quite some time. There are 11 teachers with the greatest longevity. 7 of them are in the University High Feeder pattern this morning, and 4 are in the Waco High Feeder pattern. I don't know what that says about if we're wearing out teachers more in one place or the other, but it is what it is. With 34 years of teaching experience. And when you come down here, if you would, Mr. Atkins or Mr. Sykes are going to ask you to provide everybody here with one of your secrets of being a great teacher. And it's live. With 34 years of teaching experience and currently serving as a physical education teacher at Cedar Ridge, Mr. Michael Tinsley.
All right, now for you. You understand the essay question. After your years of experience, what would you share with new teachers in our district?
I wasn't expecting this. New teachers, just go in there and be willing to give your personal best every day. Especially the days you don't feel like it.
We have flowers for our female recipients, and so it was we were wondering what would a male teacher, and someone said that their husband had like 13 ice chests, and everyone joined in that for men there's not enough ice chests, so. With 35 years of experience and currently teaching second grade at J.H. Hines, Blanche Hogan.
Teachers who are going to school.
remember every day why you're there. No matter what goes going on, your focus are the kids. And you're going to do your personal best for them. And your faith. Pray.
Good advice, good advice. That was great, Hines. With 35 years of experience and currently teaching English at Waco High School, Susan Giddings.
What words of wisdom can you impart based on 35 years of experience in the post?
Accept the kids for who they are, love them every day, smile. They're all up there, they're up there, they're all around you, and you see them every place you go in Waco.
With 39 and a half years of experience and currently serving as a first grade ESL teacher at Mountain View Elementary, Miss Sue Miller.
Fantastic. She said she looks young, and I agree. I'm gonna add some stress in about a minute and a half. Give us your advice for our new faculty, our new teachers that are here with us as well.
I can do it on time. Number one is love your students. And number two is seek out the most experienced, best teacher that you can find, and let them become your personal mentor.
Great teachers, great advice. We would now like to recognize those who went above and beyond on teaching the TEKS last year. The results of last year's WISD STAR performance and the end-of-course tests have been analyzed, and general observations will be presented now. Please keep in mind that behind every one of these numbers is a child and the hopes and dreams of a parent. This year, Crestview's STAR mathematics scores went up 20 percentage points. Carver's, did I say Carver? Carver, Mr. Love, you may want to step over there for a few minutes, just for a second. Carver STAR mathematics scores went up 23 percentage points. This year, Brook Avenue's reading scores went up the most, from 36% to 54%, which is 16 percentage points for reading. whereas writing continues to be a struggle, the STAR writing scores at Provident Heights went up 14 percentage points. West Avenue's went up 20 percentage points. And Carver went up 22 percentage points. The top 5 superstar science campuses that brought up science mastery in order are Cedar Ridge Elementary with an improvement of 10 percentage points. Then Waco High School with an improvement of 12 percentage points. Then Dean Highland Elementary with an improvement of 13 percentage points. Okay, hang on to your seats. Waco High increased their social studies student mastery by 41 percentage points. Don't say it can't be done, because it can. Provident Heights was the top performing campus for increasing their overall performance in Level 2 Advanced College Readiness. Provident Heights, where are you? Great job. For increasing limited English proficient performance, Cedar Ridge went from 17% to 61%. But no one touched the amazing increase of LEP performance of 52 percentage points by the crew at West Avenue Elementary. The success of special education students is also a part of STAR. One campus increased its special education Level 2 satisfactory standard by 10 percentage points. Jay Chines. Congratulations to Crestview and Dean Highland for showing continuous growth patterns in the percentage of student achievement in math across all state-tested grade levels. Congratulations to Brook Avenue for showing continuous growth patterns in the percentage of student achievement in reading across all state grade levels. These statistics prove that because of the efforts of teachers, administrative personnel, parents, support staff, and the Board of Trustees, we continue to work hard to ensure that more children are being given the tools that they will need as adults. Tools they will need to compete and participate in the workforce. Tools they will need to provide for themselves and for their future families. We are fully into STAR testing. Has STAR turned out to be that test to be feared that we thought? Not so in light of those gains. Not so in the quality of daily instruction our students have been getting and will continue to get. And not so in light of this year's Index 2 scores, which shows that while many of our students didn't quite pass the STAR test, they made such great growth they are a hair's breadth away. And next year's upon us. Some WISD students come to us from solid, healthy families. Others come to us with lives that wind around them like heavy chains. Those chains keep them on a continuum of a breaking process. We are a lifeline, and in many cases, we are the only lifeline. It is our job to get students the education they need to break out of the cycle of poverty, to break out the cycle of poor parenting, to break out of the cycle of alcoholism, the cycle of abuse, and the cycle of hunger. There was a day that many of you will remember when WISD's student population was far different. 10 years ago, the 2004-2005 school year opened with 15,515 students. Our expected enrollment for the 2014-15 school year is 14,731 students. May want to get your phone. Waco ISD has been in a steady enrollment decline as our schools are not seen as places of high-quality instruction. The Index 2 scores presented show we are reinventing ourselves, and we will change those perceptions. 10 years ago, 16% of our students were Anglo. This year, 9% of our students are Anglo. 10 years ago, 37% of our students were African American. This year, 31% of our students are African American. 10 years ago, 47% of our students were Hispanic. This year, 58% of our students are Hispanic. 10 years ago, 81% of our students qualified for the free or reduced price lunch program. This year, 91% of our students will start school qualifying for the free lunch program. Currently, 60.4% of the state students qualify as having low SES status. In 10 years, the state's percentage of students from poverty grew by 5.8% percentage points, while Waco ISD's grew by over 10 percentage points. Poverty is the enemy of education. It is the enemy of health. It is the enemy of peace. It is the enemy of innate opportunity, and it is the enemy of general well-being. Poverty is a tough enemy. Poverty is our enemy. Waco ISD has administrators, content area specialists, instructional specialists, diagnosticians, and a myriad of other support positions who work with teachers. They work with students, they work with parents, and with the educational system as a whole. But at the end of the day, our part is small compared to what goes on in the classroom, what goes on with those students, with that teacher, and with the effects of poverty. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce several members of the Waco ISD team of educators who were honored earlier this year for their excellence, their hard work, and commitment to the children of their schools. Our reigning secondary teacher of the year is Jennifer Kuntz from Tennyson Middle School. Ms. Kuntz writes, as a person who came from poverty, I became a teacher because I wanted to help the children who needed it the most. But I wanted to be more than just a teacher. I wanted to be a safe place, a shoulder to lean on, a trusting ear, and an open heart. Through this type of relationship building, Ms. Kuntz has been able to reach the toughest of students. Please join me in recognizing Waco ISD's Secondary Teacher of the Year, Ms. Jennifer Kuntz. The future of public education in Texas and throughout the nation depends on promising men and women who are passionate about the teaching profession. 3 years ago, Waco ISD established the Virginia Dupuy First Year Teacher Award to honor its rising stars. The award is named after a former teacher, former mayor, and one of Waco's best-known education advocates, Miss Virginia Dupuy. Our Virginia Dupuy Award recipient earlier this year was Mr. Joseph Vega, science teacher at Crestview. According to Principal Brandon Cope, the students at Crestview love the experiments they get to perform with Mr. Vega. Mr. Cope says, you can tell that Mr. Vega's classroom is a great place to learn because it smells like vinegar and it has moldy blocks of cheese hanging from the ceiling. Congratulations, Mr. Vega, and welcome back. Effective campus leadership is the key ingredient to the success of any school. In today's environment of ever-increasing school accountability standards, a school without a strong principal will never reach its potential. Our principal of the year is Miss Melissa Pritchard of Mountain View Elementary. In 2013-14, Mountain View once again met all of the required standards in the revamped accountability system. Of special note, Mountain View student achievement scores this past spring were the highest in the district and 28 points above the state target. It is reassuring to us when our WISD high school graduates choose to return and work with us in educating the children of this community. Would everyone in the room who graduated from any WISD high school, past or present, please stand so we may let you know how happy we are that you have chosen to come home. We will now salute the campuses that made student performance the absolute focal point of their efforts last school year and met standard. Of the 12 campuses having met standard, 8 are in the Waco High Feeder pattern. Provident Heights, Miss Debbie Sims, principal. Miss Sims and her staff worked like crazy up until the very last second to make standard. Thank you, Provident Heights, for all your hard work. Crestview Elementary. Last year was Mr. Brandon Cope's first year as Crestview principal. It is reported that Mr. Cope has stated that this was an incredible learning year for him. Mr. Cope, clearly you learned whatever was necessary to be able to come to the stage and accept Crestview's plaque and Waco ISD's appreciation. Dean Highland. Miss Yolanda Williams was last year's principal of Dean Highland. Miss Williams will accept the Dean Highland plaque and in turn will present it to this year's Dean Highland principal and Miss Williams' pup, Tia Allen. West Avenue Elementary. Probably the happiest man here is Mr. Joseph Alexander, principal of West Avenue. Mr. Alexander and his staff literally walked the streets all last year making home visits and building relationships. We had people call us, who is this man and all these women over here knocking on my door, talking to me about my kids not in school? I said, that must be Mr. Alexander. Yeah, that's what they said his name was. So they literally, that campus goes door to door in their neighborhood. Thank you, Mr. Alexander and West Avenue staff. Mountain View Elementary. Ms. Pritchard, you and Mountain View are going to have to share your secrets with everybody. Mountain View is an IB campus, but it is a zone school. A lot of people feel like because it's an IB campus that it's a magnet school and they handpick their children or through a lottery, and that's not true. It's a zone campus, and they work very hard because they have to teach the IB program, and it's got to be embedded in working through the STAR test, which isn't exactly a direct match. Parkdale Elementary. Hartdale is a PBS school. It is tucked away in Waco proper. It's a quiet little campus, and the staff just works its heart out, and every year, consistently, they provide excellent results for our students. Thank you. Tennyson Middle School. Mr. Keith Hanna was last year's principal. He was unable to be with us this morning. Well, he wasn't here this morning either because he needed to be at the other campus because he's now the Brazos High principal. He's ill today, so instead of giving the plaque to him to hand off to Ms. Hall, Mr. Sykes is just going to hand that plaque to Mrs. Hall, who will accept Tennyson's plaque for having met standard. Last, but certainly not least, get ready, Waco High School. Mr. Ed Love is accepting the plaque for Waco High School. Guys, a lot of work, a lot of time with kids, a lot of building relationships, a lot of reinventing yourself. You stood up and met the challenge, and we couldn't be more proud of you. Thank you, Mr. Love. And I'm giving him a The 2014 State Accountability Rating System included distinction designations. 6 campuses earned distinction designations. 4 of those campuses were in the Waco High Feeder pattern. Mountain View Elementary School. Mountain View Elementary School, with a 70% low SES student population, has been rated as having met standard. It was hands down the top scoring elementary campus in Waco ISD for the 2nd consecutive year. Therefore, it will be no surprise that Mountain View earned a distinction designation for its academic achievement in math, for its academic achievement in reading ELA, and for its academic achievement in science. Ms. Pritchard? Ms. Pritchard accepted a gift certificate for $100 to use as she sees fit for food or refreshments at an upcoming faculty meeting or lunch, and a campus check for $3,000 for instructional supplies or professional development. Tennyson Middle School, with its 83% low SES student population, has been rated as having met standard. In addition, Tennyson earned a distinction designation for its academic achievement in reading ELA, a distinction designation for science, and a distinction designation for post-secondary readiness. Ms. Lisa Hall, please return to the stage and accept a gift certificate for $100 for $100 for refreshments at an upcoming Tennyson faculty meeting, as well as a campus check for $3,000, $1,000 for each star. And of course, that's making Mr. Love real happy because that's a direct feed into his school. Those kids are ready for high school. Last year, Crestview Elementary met standard and earned distinction designations for academic achievement in math, and they received a gift certificate from Food Services. This year, Crestview, led by first-year principals, earned 4 stars. 1 distinction designation for reading ELA, 1 distinction designation for mathematics, 1 distinction designation for science, and 1 distinction designation for the top 25% closing the gaps. The $100 gift certificate remains, but this year each star carries with it $1,000. Mr. Cope just accepted his food services gift certificate and a campus check in the amount of $4,000. Parkdale Elementary School. Parkdale met standard last year and met standard this year. In addition, Parkdale earned 4 distinction designations, 1 distinction designation for reading ELA, 1 distinction designation for mathematics, 1 distinction designation for top 25% closing the gaps, and 1 distinction designation for post-secondary readiness. Ms. Marsha Henry, please accept our gift certificate and our check for $4,000 for you to use on your campus. Last fall, our school board approved a new incentive program for campuses and teachers. Thank you, board, for recognizing that teachers working in districts with over 90% of its students from poverty have to work much harder and much smarter than in districts with fewer students from poverty. Component 1 of the incentive pay plan was monies for schools meeting standard, proportion to campus size, to do with as they see fit, within reason. Don't want any trips, okay? Component 1 monies for WISD totaled $86,270. The 2014 campus winners are West Avenue, with 97% of its students from poverty, receives a campus incentive paycheck for $3,790. With 97% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $4,420, Providence Heights. With 70% of its students from poverty, campus incentive paycheck for $4,520, Mountain View Elementary. With 91% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $5,880, Parkdale Elementary. With 95% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $7,080, Crestview Elementary. With 92% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $7,840, Dean Highland. What? Oh. with 83% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $8,110. Tennyson Middle School. I'm helping you lose all that weight. That's good. With 75% of its students from poverty, receiving a campus incentive paycheck for $16,140, Waco High School. Education is the work of educators, not the work of schools. Schools may enable, but they do not deliver instruction. Great schools do not occur without great teachers. Component 2 monies are for those teachers who went above and beyond in providing that wide array of instructional strategies necessary for our population, for being singularly and wholeheartedly focused on individual students, and for not giving up on any student. While the Component 1 campus checks have to be spent within reason on campuses, not so with the actual checks that are about to be delivered. The total incentive pay going directly to teachers in Waco ISD is $75,937.50. We were so concerned because these are actual checks that we're about to give you that we had them locked up in the vault. Has the courier arrived yet? Courier's here. It's official. Our board president is having to sign. Let's practice a drum roll. Let's practice a drum roll. Good. Good job. The total amount of Component 2 incentive pay monies for the Waco High Feeder pattern totals $43,943, with the highest single amount to a teacher in this room being $3,300. Although that is a total of $3,300, Uncle Sam called and said, don't forget to give us our cut. Miss Dara Deloney. Ms. Deloney is the principal for Brook Avenue. Our courier, obviously someone got to the, take that receipt. Mr. President, take the receipt you signed and write the amount of 400, let's see, did you find it? We will be hand delivering a check to Brook Avenue for Miss Laura Dela Cruz Islas. Miss Lisa Hall, principal for Tennyson Middle School, please come forward for a personal delivery. Ms. Hall, you will be delivering your check to Miss Allison Kelsey. Mr. Joseph Alexander, we have 2 checks for you to hand out. Where do you go? Mr. Joseph Alexander, principal for West Avenue, please come forward and receive 2 checks totaling $1,017.50. Ms. Debbie Sims, principal for Provident Heights, please come forward. You have 2 checks totaling $1,625. Deliver one to Miss April Moat and one to Jennifer Serrato. Helen Smith, principal for Cedar Ridge. Ms. Smith, please come forward and receive 4 checks totaling $2,835 and deliver them to Caroline Province Bennett, Patricia Bauer, Nancy Merck, and Laura Cowan. Mr. Brandon Cope. Mr. Cope, please come forward and receive $2,850 for delivery to your 2-star Crestview teachers, Carrie Richards and Margie Gillenwater. Dr. John Jenkins. Dr. John Jenkins is the principal of Indian Spring Middle School. Dr. Jenkins, one of your teachers, Miss Shamish Sora, earned the highest amount of Component 2 incentive pay for a single teacher. Not just for the Waco High Feeder pattern, but for the entire school district. Oh, whoa.
Miss Sora.
Come,
Miss Sora.
come on down. I know it was a strange end to the year, and we needed a lot of help. And you stepped forward and said you would do whatever it would take to help those kids. And you did. Thank you. Dr. Jenkins, that other check belongs to Lori Ludiker, so I'm sure that Lori's going to be back there. Miss Melissa Pritchard, can you find your way back down here one more time? Miss Pritchard, you need to come down here and accept a check for $3,960. That's for 4 teachers: Mary Hockaday, Catherine Grabowski, Kara Honzel, and Patricia Morgan. Miss Marcia Henry. Miss Henry, principal of Parkdale Elementary, is going to receive 5 checks totaling $5,640. Those checks will go to Brenda Tidwell, Luann Walker, Crystal Stanford, Jennifer Trout, and Deborah Nauer. Miss Tia Allen, principal of Dean Highland. Please come forward and receive $7,050 in teacher incentive pay and deliver them to Deborah Byford, Lynn Weithman, Lisa Wilson, Amy Thomas, Donna Winter, Janie Beheeler, and Lisa Renia. And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Ed Love, principal for Waco High School. Mr. Love is a man who is said to bleed lion blood rather than human blood. You may want to get a security guard. You're gathering up so much money over here, you may need to call in those security guards, keep an eye on things. You're about to give $14,290 to those Waco High teachers who simply would not quit last year. Those teachers are John Weeks, Larry Kling, Estefani Martinez, Tamika Harford, Jeff Mink, Lisa DeVoost, Paul Gonzalez, Justin Alfecci, Susan Giddings, Kenneth Heller, Anthony Sarfo, and Corey Freed. On to our superstars. Waco ISD's 2013-14 top 10 superstar, S-T-A-A-R, teachers. Those teachers who maximize learning with low socioeconomic students will receive a $100 purchase order to school specialty teacher supply. Students labeled GT have been taken out of this category. Elementary cluster teachers had GT students removed from this list before calculations were applied, and secondary identified GT students were eliminated before the calculations were made. Only non-GT low SES students were counted for this set of awards. We actually have more than 10 because some of the groupings tied and some of the awards were given this morning to the University High Feeder pattern. So those teachers, counting down from 12, will each receive a certificate, suitable for framing, and a $100 school specialty gift card, except for the top gun in each category, who will receive a $200 gift card. Number 10, superstar teacher. 84% of this teacher's low SES students met standard 1. Mountain View's fourth grade reading, math, and writing teacher, Kara Hansel. Number 9, superstar teacher with 87% of his low SES students mastering English 2, Waco High's Paul Gonzalez.
Let me bring it to you.
There are 2 ties for the next grouping at 88% mastery. Dean Highland's third grade math and reading teacher, Donna Winter. And Dean Highland's fourth grade math reading writing teacher, Janie Baheeler. Third place, superstar, with 92% of this teacher's low SES students mastering star. Dean Highland, fifth grade math reading science teacher, Miss Lisa Rainian. Second, oh. We're giving Mr. Atkins a good workout. It's part of the health plan. Second place, superstar, with 94% of this teacher's low SES students mastering star. Mountain View's fifth grade math reading science teacher, Miss Patricia Morgan. That's sweet. Next is Top Gun in this category. Top Gun gets the Super Rock Star banner for the classroom, the heading for the door, and $200 teacher specialty gift card. Waco ISD's Top Gun for working with low SES students, with 100% of this teacher's low SES students mastering star. Waco High School's U.S. history teacher, Kenneth Heller. While met standard is one mark, commended performance is quite another. Identified gifted students were included when calculating this next category, WISD's 2013-14 Top 10 Star Commended Champs. These teachers maximize learning with low socioeconomic students, whether or not they were labeled as gifted, and will receive a $100 open purchase order in school specialty teacher supply. The end of this is the Top Gun was identified at the University Feeder pattern, but I will tell you the almost Top Gun here. As stated, great schools do not occur without great teachers who have the highest proportion of identified low socioeconomic students with commended performance. With ties, there were 11 teachers. Those teachers, counting down, will each receive a certificate and a $100 school specialty gift card. Tied for 10th place, both of those were at the other one. Tied for 8th place, Parkdale teacher teaching 3rd grade reading and math, having brought 28% of her students to commended status. Jennifer Trout. At 5th place, Dean Highland's 5th grade reading, science, and math teacher, having brought 30% of her students to commended performance. Lisa Reyna. At fourth place, at Tennyson at 39%, teaching 8th grade science, James Goodall. Now this will be the highest, the closest to Top Gun in this feeder pattern, because actually Top Gun and second was in the University Feeder pattern. So the 3rd place district commended champ, also teaching at Tennyson, specifically teaching 6th grade reading, having taught to a level that 45% of her students are at a commended performance, Tammy Cunningham. Okay, you're good. You're good. Let's give all of these hardworking teachers for all the categories. Waco ISD is fortunate to have a high-quality staff. Our students need that quality because not only is their world complex, their needs are complex, and their future will be complex. So we must maximize their potential. Maximizing the potential of all students means that we welcome the households that exist, not just those we wish existed. We let them know they are welcome by having high expectations of their children, regardless of home environment. It also means we maximize each student's potential with inclusive and accountable systems. It means we get on the same page about failure rates. There are differing viewpoints about failure rates. At one end of the continuum are those who believe that a certain percent of students should fail. Those espousing this viewpoint believe failure is all about high standards. They believe that it is not fair to students who learn the material on the first go-around to not be clearly distinguishable from students who struggled with the material and learned it on the second or maybe the third go-around. On the other end of the continuum are those who believe our job is to teach all students, that the goal of each teacher is 100% success. They feel that every time a student fails, that the student's teacher should take it as a personal failure, the campus administration should take it as a personal failure, and that the superintendent should take it as a personal failure. And I agree with that. Each child is ours. Each child is counting on us. The teaching learning process has no winners and losers, only winners. It must be all right with us if the first time material is presented to some students, they just don't get it. When that occurs, it becomes a time to work more with the student, presenting the material in a different way, or perhaps even in another different way. And when that student finally has that aha moment that as a teacher, you know, you're keyed into, you know the student got it. Credit is given for learning the material. Teaching is all about teaching and not about failing. Maximizing a student's potential means that there is always a second chance to learn. This school year, let us be heroes to our children, not so much because we want to, but because there's really no other option. May all of us have a great 2014 school year as teachers and as learners, and as ones who know that there is a God who cares very much about us and who is standing by to help. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for choosing to dedicate your life to working with children. I thank you for choosing to practice your profession in Waco ISD. And know that I thank you for allowing me the privilege of serving you. Thank you and have a fabulous school year.